The 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous have helped countless people with their drinking problems. But for many of us, this fellowship is still a mystery. A new production on stage in New York is helping to change that. Here's John with the story.
My name's Bill W. and I'm an alcoholic.
That greeting by Bill Wilson, the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, is central to every AA meeting. The play Bill W. and Dr. Bob tells the story of Wilson and Dr. Bob Smith.
You ain't giving up on me, Bill?
And an unlikely meeting between the two in the spring of 1935.
And because of what they talked about in Akron, Ohio, that was the birth of AA.
Dr. Stephen Bergman, who writes under the pen name Samuel Shem, is the playwright.
The birth of AA, why is that so important to you?
AA, in my experience for many, many years of treating alcoholics, is the most successful long-term treatment of alcoholics.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of the essence of AA, which Bill and Bob discovered, which is the only thing that can keep a drunk sober is telling his story to another drunk.
For Shem, the story is personal.
In my patients and in my friends and in my own life, I've seen the destruction and I've seen the healing. I used AA principles in my practice, and then one day I said, hey, maybe you got a problem. And to my surprise, and I said, well, why don't you just stop?
You yourself?
Me, yeah. And I've been in recovery for 26 years. The reason that I have been dedicated to this play is because this is my service to the alcoholic community.
I'm a drinker.
AA began when Bill Wilson, away from home and desperate to stay sober, asked a local pastor for a list of drinkers who would listen to his story and understand his struggle. The last person he called, Dr. Bob Smith.
Booze is the glue holding me together.
What these guys discovered, which is amazing, in 1935, is that alcoholism is a disease with physical, psychological, and spiritual elements and had to be treated in all three arenas.
But it's a subject barely covered in medical schools.
That first night, I get plastered.
NYU Langone Medical Center sponsored the play's current run and held a recent seminar using the play as a teaching tool to help demystify the program.
It's about you can't do it yourself, and how are you going to ask for help from someone else or something else outside yourself.
Are you willing to join us?
Alcoholism is called a disease of isolation because you're just there with your bottle. That's what this play shows. It shows just how far down these guys were and then how they climb back out together.
Stigma is such a huge problem. 17 million American adults have an alcohol use disorder, but many doctors still don't think of it as a disease. There's this stigma, and so people feel ashamed. They don't get help. They don't get help from their family, from their friends. This is a huge, huge problem.
So great interesting to hear the history, too, of how it all started. Dr. Jon LaPook, Dr. Holly Phillips, thank you both so much.